Do you want your top stitching to look perfect but hate sewing 1 inch a minute? I have a secret. My machine's blind stitch foot. Hi, I'm Galen and I'm an impatient seamstress. Impatient is a code word for lazy. I'm always looking for ways to do things faster and easier, and today I'm going to share with you my love of my blind stitch foot for top stitching. Top stitching is a very visible way to show that you know what you're doing. I love my top stitching to be super tidy and really close to the edge. I also, though, like to sew really fast, and there's no guarantee that if I slowed down, my top stitching would be very tidy. So I use my blind stitch foot because it has a guide down the middle that runs along the edge of the fabric. I'm going to show you how in just a minute on the machine. But first I'm going to show you this example that I made. On this side, you'll see 3 different marks. So I started with my blind stitch foot. When you use it, I'll show you on the machine, but you move your needle all the way to the edge. This is if I move my needle all the way to the edge. Here's if I move it 1 tick in from the edge, and here's if I move it 1 tick in farther, which is really just 1 spot off of center. That's how you get it really close. I also have a similar foot that's a 1/4 inch foot that has a guide on the outside. The guide's the key because your fabric runs right along that guide. So this helps you sew a perfect 1/4 inch. This is sewn with the guide in place of the needle in the middle. This is if I need it a little bit farther away, so I use this to stitch with the 1/4 inch foot just on the outside of a 1/4 inch. And I would do this, and I'll show you on the machine, when we're going to combine this to get a double line of stitches. This is my blind stitch foot, and it has a little flange, a little guide down the middle. And you put it on your machine, you adjust your needle to either the far left position or 1 in. I usually use 1 in. I'll go to the far left today so we can see it a little clearer. And put your fabric in right up against that guide. And start stitching. Now you can go as slow as you want, but you can go super fast. What you need to do is just make sure you're constantly feeding the fabric up against that little guide. There you go. Now I'm going to replace that with the 1/4 inch foot so you can see the same thing. So this guide is off to the side. And I put it in. I'll start stitching this side. Oops. Sorry, I need my thread to go through. Okay. So you align your fabric right with the edge of the guide. There you go. And I'll show you really quick on the other side where I already have this top stitching. If you wanted to do 2 layers of stitching, I would usually use this a little closer to the edge, but it works just fine this way. Oops, I have my tail there. There. So that's how I keep my top stitching super neat and still sew super fast. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up and come back later for some more tips from the impatient seamstress.